So this is one of those things that I was asking pastors when I was younger, and they couldn't give a sufficient answer for. So you're saying my dead relatives are in hell for not believing in a God they didn't know existed? This was a question that I used to ask pastors and everybody when I was a child, because I was thinking, how is it that my ancestors who were in the Americas, my ancestors who were in Africa, who had never met or nor heard of this Jesus character, they died and they went to hell? I had some pastors who would come to me and say, well, when Jesus was in the grave, he went and ministered to those who were already in hell. But then I understood timelines at that time frame, and I said, well, that would mean that he only ministered to the ones who had died prior to him, but everybody who has lived since Jesus but never heard about Jesus, then those people would be in hell, so who's going to go and minister to them? And then he tried this other bullshit. He said that, well, when the graves give up their souls and the seas give up their souls, then Jesus will minister to those people in the sky. And I told him, I said, well, that's quite unfair. Those people, they get a free ministry right there with the appearance of Jesus, a miraculous thing happening, while we have to live on this earth and we don't get to see Jesus in the sky and graves and people, ghost bodies coming up out the ground. That would be amazing. If I saw something like that, I'd probably believe in Jesus too. Especially if I had died and then I rise up and I don't see Shango and I don't see Otamare, I don't see Allah, I don't see, any of these other guys, I don't see Zeus, but I see Jesus. I'm going to believe in that dude if I just rose out the ground. It's a miracle. It's amazing. I'm going to do it. But I got to live here and I don't get to see that? That's unfair, but I go straight to hell. That is really unfair. So he had no answer for it, because there is no answer for that. There is none other than the selfish propaganda that you have to be right and everybody else has to be wrong. This is the Bible, and this is Christians trying to force the Bible to be a relative book to people outside of the Levant to whom the book was meant for. This book was meant for those people at that time. It was not meant to be a religion that could continue, because Jesus himself thought that he was returning in that short period of time, within a generation, but yet he did not return. But Jesus had to be short-sighted in that, because if Jesus truly was God, then Jesus would have known that there was people in the Americas, there were people in West Africa, there was people in China, there was people in the Polynesian Islands, there were people who were existing at the exact same time of Jesus, but yet would have never heard that message within that time frame of a generation. So therefore, they would die and never hear his message, because he said that some of you right now will not die before I return. And yet, they're all dead. So that makes it a lie. That makes it untrue. That makes it a false prophecy. So this is why there is no heaven nor hell. There is only the one that you create. Because every group of every religion has a similar situation, where they believe that only the people who believe in the religion to which they believe are the only ones who are going to go live with the gods. The Egyptians never thought that the Greeks would go and live with Ra. They never thought that he would go, not Ra, but go and live with Asar in the field of reeds. They never thought that the Egyptians, that the Greeks would do that. They never thought that the Levantines would do that. They never thought that the Persians or the Indus people would do that. They never thought anybody other than Kemetic people would be able to cross the field of reeds and cross over and go to the field of reeds. Just the same way Greeks didn't think that anybody else other than Greeks would be able to live with the gods on Olympus or even go to Hades. Only Greeks went to Hades, and only Greeks went to live with the gods on Olympus. The same with every religion. They believe that only their people can live with their God and go to their hell. And you know what? Everybody's right. Because you will go wherever your mind has told you that you believe that you will go. So the real question is, what do you truly believe? Because most of you who are Christian believe that you are filthy rags and not worthy. And therefore you will find yourself not being worthy. Most of you don't really believe you're going to go to a heaven. Hell's going to be full of Christians. And the same thing with Islam and every other religion. At least the Jews think that they just go to oblivion and they just cease to exist. So their consciousness just will not recognize consciousness. But it will be whatever you decide. So think about that. And manifest within yourself the elimination of fear, anxiety, and guilt so that you can understand how the universe works and you can manifest whatever happens to you when you leave this consciousness or this body, this meat suit, this poverty suit, and go to wherever your consciousness goes, because it's all up to you. You have a great day. Remember always, you got to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibration.